Hello everybody, I'm thrilled to be here today. My friends back at home are already calling this my London corporate slay era. And that was actually after the comment of, wait Mia, I thought a TED Talk was meant to be like serious. At the start I was quite offended, but then it got me thinking what this TED Talk will mean for me and for all of you. I mean, for me, isn't it obvious? A free trip to London, duh! No, but now that all my Gen Z-isms are out of the way, this is an opportunity for us to share ideas that are meaningful in a lot of different contexts. Today, I am going to talk to you about what Gen Z really want. And as a true Gen Z myself, I'll be centering my talk around the TikTok viral phrase, is it that deep? Is it that deep isn't just a catchphrase, it's actually a way to connect with my generation. It's a way to see the perspective Gen Zs are applying to everything. Okay, we'll start with the story. When I first had my first ever professional interview, it was actually for an internship at Sling & Stone. And I had prepared for weeks. And at the start I was crushing it. That was all until my older brother walks into the background and starts very loudly making toast. So I turned around, I asked him if he could relocate. All hell broke loose. He started swearing up a storm, all saying that he had every right to make toast. He's very sassy. So, my next course of action was then to grab my laptop mid-interview and start bolting down the house. I don't even want to think about the angle the hiring manager caught of my double chin. But all jokes aside, I was actually so devastated and I cried to my mom. And in an attempt to make me feel better, she said, well, Mia, you know if they hire you, at least they have a good sense of humour. I think I really took that advice and ran with it because 6 months later I was hired and then I was impersonating the CEO at a team culture day. So I'm really grateful that Bookie has the is it that deep mindset. But how does this is it that deep apply here specifically? Gen Z is all about connecting. We do want to connect with you. And it was actually that humorous attitude, like my mum said, that is it that deep? Nothing was ever that serious. That really took those mistakes that felt life-ending for me into an opportunity to connect with my co-workers and to learn and grow from them. And aren't we always just trying to, as communications professionals, communicate messages that have meaningful impacts? It's not a bad idea to consider how Gen Z's TikTok language could actually be key to connecting with them in the workforce. Now, everyone always asks me, as the token Gen Z, how do we market to Gen Zs? I always just say, if you want to market to Gen Zs, you've got to think like a Gen Z. What does this mean? Well, let's use the Super Bowl as an example. The Super Bowl just had a record number of eyes on it. 123.4 million to be exact. More than the moon landing. And Super Bowl ads are iconic. They live on forever. But as we all know, they come with a $7 million price tag. That doesn't even include the celebrity features and the production costs that rack up the bill a few more million. Now, how does it make you feel to know that in the first 10 days of February, a language app, Duolingo, accumulated 123 million views across their socials? And this is I'm going to show you this video. I'm really scared for it to come up on here actually, because I've only ever seen it on a small screen, but this is their highest grossing video. Oh. Alright, I hope this gives you the image of how this video might go. Yeah, so this is a silly little video, and I don't show this to us all to make us feel like, as communications professionals, there is no place for our long thought out projects, and we just have to make these silly little videos. That's really not the point. The point is that I want to show you is what Gen Zs are calling unhinged marketing. Unhinged marketing leans into the language of the internet. It's content you might come across like that you sit there and go, how did that get approved? And unhinged marketing is a challenge because if you think about it, Gen Zs growing up, they didn't really become accustomed to being marketed at. We can pay to remove ads from TV. We can scroll and move on from social media branded posts. It's no longer, engagement is no longer secured with a price tag. It's an optional model. So, to me, this is a fun challenge. We want to engage with Gen Zs and meet them where they're at. I challenge you to be unhinged, get creative, and take a risk. Most brands that we work with cannot take the risk of $7 million for 30 seconds. However, risking a curated brand image has proven to generate the same amount of eyes. All right, I want you guys to think about how many slang terms I've said that have had you a little bit lost. Or maybe you have a Gen Z colleague yourself and they left you speechless when they replied, "Slay," during their performance review. Guilty. When we think about this, is it that deep? I'm going to show you how it's actually interchangeable. This is a story from my own experience when I joined the workforce. When I first joined Sling & Stone, I had a notes app going of every single word I did not understand. WIP, KPI, EOD, very confusing. It's still a little bit confusing. One day I was in a meeting with my manager and she said, "We don't want to cannibalize our outreach." Hello. I thought this was public relations. Now I'm questioning if all those years of not listening in uni has actually got me into some underground criminal ring. I make this point to show you that the language barrier is on both sides. And this kind of language barrier comes across in those corporate surveys that come out that say 3 out of 4 managers find Gen Z the most difficult generation to work with. Ouch. But this is actually the challenge. We want to break through this language barrier. Three of those top stereotypes in that survey actually stated that Gen Zs were entitled, lazy, and couldn't communicate with their experienced colleagues. So, I actually was asking everyone in my work, is this just a Gen Z thing? And no, they said it was a millennial thing too. Everyone was getting ready for a bit of a shake-up. I mean, I wouldn't know. I wasn't born, obviously. But I referenced the Guardian article that showed the top stereotypes for millennial workers, which were entitled, lazy, can't communicate with experienced colleagues. Twins! I use this as an example to show you that Gen Z's joining the workforce is not a brand new story. The details might change with each generation, but the overall plot remains pretty much the same. Embracing the Gen Z is it that deep mindset is not just a catchphrase, it's a way to connect with my generation. If you take away one thing from this presentation, let it be this. In all your work, when chatting to a colleague, when planning a big campaign, why not use the Gen Z mindset? Ask yourselves, ask your client, ask the team, is it that deep? This isn't an out with the old, in with the new transformation. It's really a way for us to take everything with a little less seriousness. And hey, maybe don't ask the executive of a national bank or that really serious government client, is it that deep? Then again, why not? Could be the start of a very interesting conversation. Thank you.